Before we start, we would like to show you or play a video which could explain the link between food safety and food security. So it's clear that we as food safety professionals can be an obstacle to ensure food security. With our lack of understanding of regulations and implementing non-risk-based systems and regulations, we can be the major obstacle to feed the world. This is the FAO definition of food security. Food security exists when all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient and safe food. So our role is to ensure that the food which is produced is safe. Till this point, the food is safe. It's produced with good agricultural practice. Transportation is good, everything is good, but our ports of entry procedures reject that food. Then it is dumped. And in the process, we lose money and we lose the food. Another scenario is a food which is produced at the farm, like poultry. Same scenario. Then it comes here, improper handling, then get rejected, and then goes again to the dumpster. So what do we do as food safety professionals? We have good laws, but sometimes our interpretation is not right. The FAO document tells us that if there is an event of a recall, there should be a dialogue between us as regulators and the producer or the processor to define the ultimate fate of the recalled product. Depending on the identified hazard that originates the recall, some recalled products may be salvaged through reworking or transformation, or they may be destroyed. Most of us as regulators only go to the easiest solution. Doesn't meet the standards, get destroyed. Also, a codex document says in situation of non-compliance with microbiological criteria, depending on the assessment of the risk to the consumer, the point in the food chain, and the product type specified, the regulatory control actions may be sorting, reprocessing, rejection, or destruction. So we have options, but yet many of us elect to take the shortcut and destroy the food. European Union regulations also talk about the same thing. Even our new GCC guidelines say reconfiguration of the consignment so as to meet the GCC technical regulations. So in other words, we shouldn't go that direction. We have to have proper understanding. We have to assess the risk. We have to see whether that product poses health hazard to the consumer. So that's why in Dubai we came up with what we call Dubai High Five. We base our systems on risk. We have what we call prevention at source. We are transparent, promoting food safety culture and consumer awareness. All these factors will contribute to making the food safe, the food which has value added at each step, makes it expensive, makes it very valuable for the consumers and for the producers. We have to make sure that it is protected. Prevention at source is very important. Maybe in the morning you talked about good agricultural practices. So that's why we have some procedures in order to make sure that we prevent these foods from being unsafe. In Dubai, we established a database which has specified all the amounts of foods which are imported from different countries. We import foods from more than 200 countries. We import about 10 billion tons of food each year. So we have to have communication, proper communication with the competent authority at the country of origin. Also, we are coming up with a system with DAC, which is Dubai Accreditation Center, to certify the product at the country of origin, and also to accredit laboratories in order to make sure that the products come here safe and comply with the regulations. Also, prevention as source, we have what we call trade partnership with exporting countries through trade missions, consulates, and trade associations. So we communicate our laws to these parties in order for them to comply with the regulations so as to bring safe food which is compliant with our regulations. Also, we have sharing knowledge with relevant authorities and the personnel involved with exporting of food. We have exhibitions. Gulf Food now we have a stand to communicate our regulations. We do conferences and seminars. Dubai International Food Safety being one of the major or the main conferences outside of the North America that is specialized in food safety. We do lots of training and publication programs, and we have what we call person in charge. So far, the person in charge is implemented for restaurants and cafeterias and the service industry. But now we are planning to introduce that concept to the trade companies so that they know our regulations before they ship the product to Dubai. Also, consumer awareness plays an important role. You have to empower the public with the required knowledge in order to handle the food with care. The food which is produced safe and got to the country, from the country of origin safe, you have to have smart shopping and proper food handling and dealing with food safety misleading information. We have many rumors, as you have seen in the video. People destroy food for just trivial reasons. They cause cancer without any scientific justification. So we have to deal with the public. We have to empower them with the proper information in order to make educated decisions. Also, food safety culture. Culture is beyond knowledge. So we have to promote food safety culture among the establishments which serve the food in Dubai. So we have to also promote the concept of food safety is a shared responsibility. It's not upon us as regulators. It is upon all of you, upon producers, primary producers, processors, transporters. Everybody is involved in making the food safe. Also, we adopt a culture that promotes recognition rather than incrimination. We recognize the good establishments by different award schemes in order to promote their knowledge and activities and practices. We have some examples like Mr. Safe Thumbs Up program, which is for establishments which up their food safety systems in their establishment. We have what we call Food Safety Award, and also role of the PIC is very important. Also, it's very important for us as regulators to understand the regulations. We have 3 horizontal regulations which are very, very important for us. And these are the major causes of rejection. These are the major causes of rejecting the food which is safe at the port of entry. Food labeling standards. We have many inspectors which reject the food for very trivial reasons without understanding what is behind making that regulation. Also, expiration of food. My colleague, Mr. Bobby, will talk about this in details. But the concept of expiration of food is very messed up here. So we have a standard which is based on overprotection of the consumer. It's not based on good justification of what could happen to the food while it's being handled. Micro-criteria standard is one of the standards that needs major revision, and we are doing that right now. We have the toughest standard on earth regarding micro-criteria. It's not based on sense. That's why we are depending now on this commission, which is called ICMSF, International Commission of Microbiological Criteria of Food, which base all the criteria on sound sense. So all the standards should be based on risk. Otherwise, they will be the major cause of rejecting the food which is safe to consume. Also, one important factor is applying risk-based systems. We have HACCP, ISO 2000, SQF, Safe Quality Food. In Abu Dhabi, they have what they call Salamat Zadna, Safer Food, Better Business, Amani Safe, and Assured Safe Catering. Of course, this is in addition to the prerequisite program, like GMP, GHP, and GAP. Now I have done the talk, someone has to do the work.
I'm not going to do the work. I just want to quickly run through the slides that we prepared. We thought these are like very small steps that we have made to make sure that people are safe, and at the same time we do not run short of food. So as a food safety professional, I always thought, I define food safety or security as safe, affordable, healthy, and sustainable. So if we cannot get all these 4 objectives met, we're not really going to make a large difference in food safety. So wherever we have applied food safety regulations, wherever we have worked on, like the food code, the person in charge program, we've really made sure that it's sustainable, it is making food affordable, not increasing the costs substantially, and at the same time, it's healthy and safe for people. Health is a different topic, but still, we try to incorporate that into our programs. And we always work with this kind of vision, looking into the future when we've made the regulations, especially in food code. I just want to take you a couple of examples. We know that we are all dependent on trade. 95% of the food comes in through the ports, and once it's here, it's really not possible to get it back to people who are normally cut off from us. So we know that there are a lot of people across the globe who are suffering without food, but we also know that once it's here, we cannot take it back to them. So we need to make sure that we are optimally using the foods that are coming into the port. And once it's in the port, we need to make sure that you don't waste it. So accept it properly and make sure that you have got a good distribution system and a good process to make sure that it doesn't become unsafe or spoils and you end up throwing it away. So the best thing to do is to put science onto the plate and make sure that you use all your possible scientific measures to make sure that food is kept safely and wholesome. So what's the difference between these two pictures? What do you think? How is this picture of a canned beans different from this one? Why would it be different from a food safety perspective? So here's the canned beans which can be kept for 3 years, right? This particular can of food. And once it's open, all you get is 3 days. So that's the number we're talking about. So once the food is opened, your microbiology or the ecology of that particular food changes completely. So you have a product that could be kept for 3 days or a product that can be kept for 3 years. So educating consumers is a very key step, in telling them to optimize the shelf life, buying things which are absolutely necessary and making sure that you refrigerate them after you open. So, we always think food safety is independent of food security, but these small measures make a lot of difference in how much we throw out. And this is a particular food. How many hours can you keep this food in a counter? Any guesses? How many of it? 2 hours, right? So what happens if you blast chill it and you package it and label it and you store it in a refrigerator? How many days can you keep it? Up to 3 days here, 7 days in the United States, and I think up to two days in the United Kingdom. So the number of days or the number of hours you can keep that food from being unsafe is pretty much longer if you can use a very scientific measure. So here is food safety interfering into your security measures or food security thing by helping you to extend the shelf life of a product without compromising the health of people. And we've been telling the food industry here or the food retail industry to blast chill foods and not to leave it at ambient temperature for a long time and then discard it. But it's so hard, it's so difficult to get on to the smaller restaurants, which contribute a lot to the wastage of food. And if we cannot stop this by using technology, I think we would be wasting food like 40 to 50% every day in Dubai. So we also have very good technology moving forward. Innovations in packaging. We also have better ways to deal with stuff. Vacuum packaging of meat has extended the shelf life substantially, but we do not have standards that really promote these things because our standards have limited the number of days you can keep a food if it's vacuum packaged. So I think, as Bashir mentioned, we need to go back and rework on the regulations that we have. A lot of the requirements have to be really based on science and not just speculation. So here, most people think that a product would just become unsafe on the date of expiry. And people also do not distinguish between use by dates and best before dates. And here, it's used synonymously. So a product which has got a 2-year shelf life could come with a best before date in the UK or in the US, and you could still use it beyond that particular date. But here, it comes with an expiration date. That means you cannot sell it or use it after that point. At the same time, you could have products in the shelf in a small restaurant which is out of temperature control for more than 2 hours and is unsafe, and people do not know about it. So with this note, I need to thank you all for listening, and I hope that these small measures actually contribute to the bigger picture that you're looking at, and all those presentations that you made in food security in the last 2 days. I think the Dubai Municipality will be happy to take your feedback and incorporate that into your policy-making process. Thank you for listening.